I was trying to think of how I wanted to like start this. I was thinking like, I mean, I knew there'd be conversation between us, and I didn't know if we would just like lead into it. So I think that's probably what I want to do. Is like we were just kind of bullshitting, and then we'll just bleed into me being like, whatever. I almost went right into it, but I had to burp. I don't know. I've been doing this for like 4 years now, right? And there was a point in time where I never forgot to burp into the mic. I never forgot. But then something happened where I just like, I don't know if I watched a movie or like I met somebody who was like a little classier than me and made me want to be a better person. But like now I tend to like lean away and burp. And every time I do that, I remember, oh, I should just burp into the mic. I can do whatever I want. This is my show. But I
Yeah,
always forget.
I think burping into the mic is almost like it's a staple because it kind of shows how punk rock and edgy you are. Fuck
Yes,
the establishment, bro.
we're so comfortable with our flatulence. Is flatulence only for farts, or is it any gas that escapes the body?
It's got to be any. There's no way it
Yeah.
just means farts, bro.
I've only ever heard it referred to as butt trumpets, but I've never heard it referred to. Let's look this up. Flatulence. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Yep. Flatulence is only for farts. Flatulence in humans is the expulsion of gas from the intestines via the anus, commonly referred to as farting. Huh. Well,
That
there's your
sucks.
there's your educational tip for the day, ladies and gentlemen. So, speaking of ladies and gentlemen, we're back, baby. What is up? It's the Toon Junkies podcast. We're back, and now you get to see my fucking face and all the contortions that I do when I listen to people tell me stories. So, welcome back. We're here. It's been a year. It's been a year since I've done the show where it's we'll get into all the fun nooks and crannies of what I've been doing in my off time. But first, welcome. It's video now. You can see us. Look, I spent a bunch of time and I built a nice background that you can look at while I'm judging the people talking to me or making bad jokes, right? It's cool now. I know a lot of people love to watch people talk. I thought that listening was enough, but here we go. The way of the world now is watching people make funny jokes. So take this ride with us. Here we are. And you may have heard another person talking. So let me just first introduce you, somebody who has had a big helping hand in making this very spectacle come to be. If you've been a fan of the show for a while, you may recognize that voice, and it is the one and only Gennaro Del Prete. Yes, everybody
Glad to
clap.
be here, Chris.
Yeah. So Gennaro's been helping me like put this together, right? Like I it's always been DIY, right? I jumped into this entire endeavor not knowing how to do anything. This has been we've been shooting from the hip since 2019, baby. And we're still here. So, we may have a low accuracy rate, but it's done the job. Okay, we're still alive. So, Gennaro's been helping me produce the show, right? So you're kind of like a co-producer. Does that make you feel special?
I think it's a title that I've been waiting on for a long time, Chris. I've been one of your backbones for quite a minute, man.
That's true.
Glad to be a part of this.
I've got the flyer from oh no, hold on, I got this. Varsity Champs Fest. Is that what it was?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
RC Champs Fest.
It's hanging in my going up my stairs. There's like an angled ceiling. It's up there along with all the other things Toon Junkies have been a part of over the years. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this new venture. I can't wait to hear about everybody judging the faces I make when people tell me crazy stuff. Like, I've been getting away with it for like 3 years now. 3-4 years. It's only just been the people that I was interviewing that got to see the goofy faces I make. But now Now you'll get to see them, and that's
I'm
fine.
just really glad, people can actually see that you have facial hair and you're not a 12-year-old girl. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, I did a podcast during the hiatus, so to speak, with a friend of mine, called Cryptic Soup, right? And oh my God, I totally just forgot what I was gonna say. Welcome to the show, folks. This is a Toon Junkies podcast where I forget what I'm saying most of the time. These are some of the side effects of long-term drug usage, so just moderation, folks. Moderation. That's the only thing I can preach. Backbone. We were talking about. Help me out, dude. What were we talking about?
I was just making fun of you for sounding like you're 12.
Thank you. That's what I needed. So I was on Cryptic Soup, right? And one of their listeners said, "Hey, I hope Chris doesn't take offense to this, but he sounds like Aziz Ansari." And I just need people to know I am not Aziz Ansari. I'm also not. Who else has people told me I sound like? I don't think I get a lot of sound likes. I think I get a lot of look-alikes. Like, I just well, I don't want to give away the recent. It doesn't matter. Who cares? People are gonna know this isn't filmed live on location. I recently did an interview with a band where I exchanged the story. I shared the story of the time that I went to a B-dubs and somebody thought that I was Harry Styles. This was before my hair was this long, right? But there was a family of people who kept staring at me and were like, I finally confronted them from across the room. I said, "Can I help you?" And they're like, "You look like Harry Styles." I'm like, who fucking cares, bro? I'm not him. So why bring it up? You think
You don't
Harry
look
Styles?
anything like Harry Styles, bro.
You think
Literally
Harry
nothing like
Styles
him.
is in Dunlop, Indiana, eating at a Buffalo Wild Wings? Get your fucking mind right, dude. Listen, if you want to say I'm cute, just say it. You don't have to tell me I look like some kid from One Direction. That's when this happened, was when he was in One Direction.
Oh,
right?
damn. So this was like a while ago.
This was a while ago, bro. This was way.
He definitely wasn't in Dunlap, bro.
This was pre-Pandy. This was pre-Death of Harambe. This was a long time ago.
Man.
Yeah, so.
Wow. The cultural canon shifted completely, bro.
Yeah, it's a totally different digital environment now. It's crazy. But yeah, so that's basically fun stuff, right? Let me see. We talk new show, video, introduce Gennaro. Maybe I should stick to my little docket, right? So, yeah, welcome to the Toon Junkies podcast, right? Given that this is kind of a new format, it's video. I know I've been doing this for a while, but this is a new format. I intend to reach an entirely new fan base, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But in that, I feel like it's only customary. Customary? I feel like it's not mandatory, but it should be required, right? That I kind of give a brief little history of what I've been doing. Not necessarily what I've been doing, what the show has been, right? So, my name is Chris, as I said so earlier, right? Maybe, hey kitty, you want to make an appearance? He does not. Maybe you'll see him. You'll see him around. It's cat. So, I have been doing this show since 2019. It's always been about bridge. I feel kind of like cliche when I say this, but it's true. This is why I started this show, was that I wanted to bridge the gap between stage and audience, between band and audience member. I've felt like since this started, not necessarily since this started, but in the past, right? Some of my favorite icons and favorite musical inspirations have died, right? And not in a way that would seem like pretty what's natural, right? Suicides, right? And I feel like part of that is granted, there's always going to be, every individual has their own mental health stuff that they're dealing with, but I also feel like the machine that is the music industry kind of churns these musicians and bands and artists into more of just a product and not people and individuals like they are. So instead of, like, personally, for me, I've always felt like when I would go to, like, shows or get VIP to anything, I always felt that there was, like, this weird disconnect between them and me. Like, even though I'd been following their career for, whether it's 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 years, right? I always felt like it was a strange encounter. Like, I just get nervous around people I idolize, so that might just be me. But I always feel like there's a weird disconnect, right? Like, the person you're going to meet, you only really know them as a product, right? Granted, nowadays it's a lot more, there's more connection with social media though, right? But I've always felt like there's a weird disconnect, and I go up to them and I only know how to talk to them about the music they make. Like, oh, hey, I like the album, and they're like, thanks, where I don't really get to talk to them as a person, right? And that's what I want to do. I want to ground these musicians and these artists with a fan base that, like, know them and connect with them and can talk to them as a person and not just a product of UGM or Sony or Epic or whatever the case may be. I don't normally talk to those bands, but, the bands that will soon be under those umbrellas. So that's kind of always been the inspirations. We just got to talk to the bands and the artists as individuals and get to know them, so that when they inevitably get sucked into the machine that is the music industry, they won't feel as churned up, graded. They've got a true fan base behind them that support them, and it's not just the music they make, but it's also as individuals. So that's the premise of the show. I mean, granted, that sounds really nice, and then you'll hear the questions that I ask, and you'll be like, where the fuck is he going with this? And it's like, well, I also like to make jokes, because I feel like that's one of the best ways to get to know somebody. Is find out what they find funny, what amuses them, right? It's such a like a connecting thing to have a good hearty laugh with somebody. Bro, you'll remember that for the rest of your life. So, purpose goal show. So some of you might be asking, well, hey, what are we going to expect? Well, I could always just tell you, hey, go check out the 3 years worth of content that I've been putting out, right? But that's just audio. You don't get to see me or any of the guests, unfortunately. I've had some great guests in the past, okay? A lot of good times. I've got several 3-hour interviews, right? Nobody does anything for 3 hours if it's boring, right? I mean, you might if it's mandatory, but none of these interviews are mandatory, right? They came on their own free will, and they stayed on their own volition, right? So there's that. But what can you expect from the show? If there were ever a definition of white shenanigans, it's gonna be this fucking show. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? I like dad jokes, okay? I love word puns. I love to make a good word pun, even if it's not gonna be funny. I enjoy it if it's clever. Like, there was a recently, in that the episode that you're working on now, with Profiler, their producer, one of the producer for their first EP, his name was something Hennessy, right? And so I said, tell me what it was like working with so and so Hennessy. Would you say it was intoxicating? I was the only one that thought it was funny. I was the only one that enjoyed it, but I'm like, hey, that's.
I knew that was coming. But yeah, I love that.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the word Hennessy, I'm like, bro, I'm making an alcohol joke, right? So that's what you can expect. Now, it's not only gonna be white shenanigans. Now, I absolutely love making a fool of myself. I love making people laugh. That was the whole premise of the show, is learning about the bands and the musicians and the artists that are making the music that we love, but also I want to make them laugh, right? I want to make you laugh, because, life's not that serious, okay? No one here gets out alive. I've used that quote a lot recently, so you're going to hear about it. But, yeah, life is short. We're here for a good time, not a long time, okay? So we're just here to have fun. Gennaro can vouch for that. He's been on the show several times. You can actually look up what you filled in for me. What was it 2020 when I don't think it was COVID that I had, but I had well, it might have been COVID, but who knows?
Might have been.
It was
I
the
filled in for
flu of
you
some
for
kind.
oh shit, it was Bardock and
Uh,
Brainwash, I think.
Something like yeah, because they yeah, Bardock came in from Missouri again. Shout out to Bardock. I
Yeah,
can't believe you guys drove to Indiana twice to come hang out with us. That's so awesome. I'll never forget you guys. I still have your Dragon Ball Z long sleeve. I wear it all the time. That thing
I
is
got the
so
Dragon Ball
badass.
hoodie.
I've got the orange hat. Didn't they give that to you?
Yep.
Yeah, I wear that all the time. I love that hat. Um, but yeah, he's been on the show a lot. Filled in. Gennaro can vouch for the the tomfoolery that goes on these episodes, right?
It's uh it's something that's a staple of who you are as a person and knowing you personally, man.
Yeah, I'm a
The
goofy
white
guy.
shenanigan is a great way to describe it, man.
Yeah.
Uh, Saying you got jokes that'll last a lifetime. I still remember our trip to go see Spider-Man and how that's still a running gag.
The what gag?
How on the one episode we were literally the whole episode was us trying to talk about Spider-Man, and we never talked about the movie. The entire episode, we talked about wrestling, we talked about fucking DC comics,
Yeah.
never talked about the Spider-Man movie the entire episode.
So, listener, viewer, I should just talk to. I shouldn't just talk to the viewer, but I should mainly acknowledge the viewer, right? Listener, you're expected. You've been here. You've been here since 2019, but the viewers are new, right? So, that's absolutely something you should expect, right? Is this? It's something I've said on the show since the very beginning. It's something I still say to this day. This show is unofficially sponsored by ADHD. I get sidetracked all the time, right? The reason that I have to write notes is because if I don't write notes, I will get sidetracked and I will end up talking about Weird Al for an hour and a half. Okay, I've had to curb my desire to talk about Weird Al on numerous occasions, but yeah, we get sidetracked a lot. But even though one could say that's not as what's the word, professional. We've never claimed to be professionals on the show, other than a professional fool. But I think that it provides great insight as to who and like how my guests and like artists, how they function, who they are as people, is when we get sidetracked and we end up talking about our passionate love for Weird Al Yankovic or something crazy. I really love the tangents that happen. So that's been a staple in the show for as long. I mean, it's. I remember, what was it in the first 3-hour episode we had? It was with Louisiana Lot Lizards, rest in peace. Like, it was baffling how long we were just talking and conversing and have a good time, and then I looked down and I was like, holy shit, it's been 3 hours, dude. And they were like, has it really? I'm like, oh shit, we're having a grand old time. But yeah, we're just here to have a good time, get to know the individuals and the musicians that graciously offer up their time to come be on the show. So I just went to move one of the tabs in my phone, and it's just flatulence. It's just the
Still there.
Wikipedia page of flatulence. Oh, that's fun. But yeah, let me see. What else? What kind of music does this show focus on? Let me tell you, it's all of them. Okay, there's no. I think somebody's knocking on my door. Give me 1 second. There was no one there.
Oh, so you're just paranoid.
Well, yes, that is entirely
Are you
100%.
high right now? Do you ever
No,
get
I made it a
nervous?
point. I made it a point to not get high for the first episode, okay? I wanted to be clear and concise and as sober as my sober brain is actually sober, But I mean, yeah, I'm a little paranoid, but also When I first moved into this domicile, the previous tenant made me aware that when she lived here, she felt a presence get into her bed with her. And I was like, what? You got a fucking cuddly ghost in this apartment? Hell yeah, dude. I'm like, I could rock a fucking ghost girlfriend. Shout out to Wolves of Glendale, Olivia. That's a great song. Check it out. It's about having a ghost girlfriend. It's hilarious. But yeah, I was super excited, right? And then I got in here. I've been living here for like 2 years now. Not a one time have I been caressed or cuddled in my bed at nighttime. Not a once.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah. I was pretty butthurt about it, right? But I've come to the conclusion that I think the ghost is a lesbian. I think that's why I haven't gotten any attention, even though I get mistaken for a woman at every airport I've ever gone to, right? The ghost is fucking on it. And you know, she knows, they know that I have a penis.
That's a shame, man.
Yeah.
Didn't you just hate it when all the ghosts in your life just happen to be not attracted to you?
You know,
it's just the worst, man.
Whether it's ethereal or corporeal, that seems to be a common theme in my life.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Oh well, it's all right. I've got this show. I've got Kitty. We're good. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, for real. It is a real shame that this ghost does not want any part of me. I was actually really excited to have a ghost girlfriend and actually when I invite people over and be like, okay, so this is Kitty, and then up in the hallway, you won't see her, but this is Margaret. She might touch your hair or, knock your purse off the couch, whatever, but none of it. So, coward. Watch all the shit on my wall just fall off.
Yeah, don't piss her off, bro. It's your problem.
Yeah. She knows I'm just feisty. She lives here, bro. She knows what I'm like when I'm by myself. Yeah, this poor ghost and my poor cat have to deal with my shenanigans. But, anyways, sidetrack. What kind of musical guests can you expect to find on the show? All kinds, right? We don't cater to a specific genre, even though the font might make you think it's one thing. My long hair and tattoos might think it's one thing. No way. So, the only genre we cater to is passion. We love the artists who love making art, okay? From deathcore to dream pop, shoegaze and blues, new metal, emo, and goth rock too. We love it all. Yeah, I did write that for you. I did write that for you guys. That's I had to pull up my my Dr. Seuss. Yeah.
That was fire. I really like that.
Yeah, you think I'm spitting bars over here, homie?
Yeah, I think that should be a tagline. I'm gonna write that down. That was fire.
Hell yeah, appreciate it. So, we're into it all, right? All music, all... I lied to you, and I'm sorry. That's not true. It's not all music, okay? There is one genre that you will never hear on this show, and that is bro step. Never once will you hear that music on here unless it is ironical, okay? I'm not into it, okay? Give me house music, jungle, techno, trance. I am no stranger to EDM, okay? I'm not here to shit on electronic dance music. I'm about it, okay? I was raised in the 90s, okay? Dance music was very popular, okay? Remember Sandstorm by Darude? Huh? Better Off Alone, Alice DJ, Rhythm of the Night, okay? Bro, don't even get me started on Fatboy Slim, okay? I'm about it, right? This isn't just he just has an experience. I have, okay? I was there when Sonny Moore became Skrillex, okay? I was there when Korn and Skrillex teamed up to make an album. Yeah, that's true. 2011, Korn's album, The Path to or Path of Totality, was produced by Skrillex, okay? You can listen to any 5 seconds of that song, of that album, and it's undeniable proof that it's very, very touched by Sonny Moore, right? So, I say all this to, just to let you know that you won't hear any dubstep on this show. Bro step, excuse me. I actually learned recently that dubstep and brostep are two very different things, and I have been. Is this going to be the right terminology? We're going to go for it. I have been misgendering dubstep for a long time. A long time, okay? I thought dubstep was Skrillex music, but it's not. Apparently, it was renamed brostep, and dubstep is actually something that, like, I'm kind of into. It's, like, kind of more chill and more like, at least what I looked up yesterday, that's what it said. I could be wrong. Feel free to fucking correct me. I couldn't wait to get to this level so that I could have a corrections department, okay? I welcome corrections. I love to be informed properly. I say a lot of dumb things on this show, okay? Forgive me. I'm an idiot, okay? But I welcome correction. I love to be informed. So let me know if you are upset with my declaration of non-bro step, okay? Email us at tunejunkies@gmail.com. Let me hear it. I'm all for it. I love to converse. That's why we're here, right? So, in that, I like all different genres, okay? As I'm sure you do too, okay? If you're one of those people that only listens to one genre, don't watch this show. Don't even support it, okay? I don't want your help, okay? You need to open your mind. Go take some LSD and expand your mind. But there is a song to be found that will speak to you in every genre. And you want to know why? Because a human wrote it, okay? And the human experience is within the same bubble for just about everybody on this planet. Granted, there are different tiers, right? But existence as a whole for humanity is very kind of cut and dry, okay? So go expand your horizons, right? So that's this show, right? That's what that's the main template. That's what you're gonna find. This is how it's gonna be. So that's what I've got written. Gennaro, I believe I had asked you. Oh, hey, remember when I thought there was a ghost at my apartment?
Yeah.
So somebody did knock at my door, but I didn't get there fast enough. There's a record waiting on my front porch step.
It's a stoop, bro. You don't have a porch.
Yeah, I have a porch. You know what? Fuck you, Gennaro. I do have a porch.
Fuck you, bro.
Customs. What did I order from the United Kingdom? Ugh.
Damn, you getting shit from the UK now?
Hey, Profiler was in the UK. I talked to them.
I'm from the UK.
Yeah, the Ugly Kids Club.
Fuck you.
Boom. Zing. All right, I want to see what this is.
I do have to apologize, Chris, if you randomly hear some sirens. There is a tornado warning right now where I'm at.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, so if sirens start going off, I gotta dip. I'll let you know.
Okay, that's great content. I don't want anything bad to happen to you, but if your camera were to just fly away, that'd be
pretty
great.
Fucking funny.
Do you want to see what came in?
I do.
This is I believe they're called zoetropes. So what it is it's a record that when it's spun at a certain speed, this will look like it's like a moving picture. It'll look like a video kind of. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah. So this is Gorilla's Cracker Island. Hell yeah.
Ooh.
I'm fucking stoked. This plastic thing did not survive at all. Look at this, fucking ripped open. That's the problem with these dang UPS. I'm just kidding. I love the UPS. UPS and USPS, you're overworked and you've got a lot of shit on your plate. I get it. But please, come on. If it's shaped like a box, you got to know by now they're records. Come on. Be a little more gentle, okay? I know you're overworked, but some of us work a job we don't like to do so that we can buy things that we're never actually going to listen to. We're just going to look at it, okay? So, and that's what I do, listener. We might as well just get that out of the way. I do collect records, but I don't listen to any of them. Not a single one. I've listened to a couple, but I have no...
Mostly John Mayer.
I really have... No, actually, I haven't listened to any of my John Mayer records.
That's pretty impressive for how much of a dick rider you are.
Oh, bro, we're team gayer for mayor over here. Okay, hashtag gayer for mayor. In fact, so much so, that's what this shirt is. It's a John Mayer shirt. It says "Stay tuned." Yeah, yeah. Tune Junkies.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This was a collaboration with, I believe it's Online Ceramics. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Little cute little logo. It says "Stay tuned." So I spent an exorbitant amount of money on this. I would never spend the money that this required on any other sweatshirt, but because it's John Mayer. And I know a lot of people over the years have thought that when I say certain artists, like how I love Sheryl Crow or John Mayer, like I make those references, a lot of people think I'm joking. And I want to tell you right now, I'm not, okay? I
this is
love
not a
them.
joke.
This is not a joke. This is real fandom, okay? I am serious. I like all different kinds of music, as you can see, okay? There's Red Jumpsuit, Devil Wears Prada, there's Him, there's Yellow Card, there's Human Abstract, there's 3-6 Mafia over there, there's Casey Musgraves, there's I gotta get better at, like, learning how to point backwards. Brandy's right here, Kingfish Christoph over here, like, I'm all over. I'm on the spectrum. I'm all over it. Okay, I like all kinds of music. So, anyways, what I was gonna say before I got distracted by my record coming in the mail, I asked Gennaro if he would do me a favor and ask me some questions that I thought people might be interested in. Like, what kind of questions would a new, like, viewer, listener have in encountering this podcast, right? So, Gennaro, I believe you prepared some questions for me.
I've got some interesting questions for you, Chris. I'm gonna go with some pretty easy questions first, and then we're
Okay.
gonna go into some Q&A trivia type deals.
Ooh, I wish I would have studied, but that's all right. We like to, as I said before, we like to shoot from the hip here at the Toon Junkies podcast. Improv, baby.
So I'm gonna ask you right away. In your most recent Spotify slash Apple Music slash Amazon, whatever the hell you use,
Right.
what have you been listening to most recently?
Most recently, I
Yes.
can answer that very well. Let me see if I can find my like most listened to monthly thing that they do. I don't know how to find it though. That's a thing. Am I just dumb? No, I gotta go to here, and then I gotta go to playlist. No, it won't be in playlist. Would it be in? I have no idea where they are. Hold on, we're gonna fix. Oh, here we go. I found it. My activities for what month is this? March. Yeah, March.
This is March.
Um, as of right now, oh, I've got 15 days. It won't get. Well, I can tell you. So as of right now, my top artists are John Mayer, The New Age, Fleetwood Mac, Casey Musgraves, Sierra Farrell, or Farrell. I don't really know how to say her last name. She's fantastic, by the way. I don't know if you guys are into, like, folk music or, like, Americana stuff. Oh, her voice is amazing. Go check out the song In Dreams. It's beautiful. She's got a version on YouTube, I think, somewhere where it's just like her raw vocals in like a barn, her and somebody else playing. She sounds so amazing. She's fantastic. I'm trying to get her on the show. I'd love to talk to her. Anyways, Seether, Breaking Benjamin, Properties of Nature, Oh He Dead. Oh He Dead. I can't wait to talk to them.
Oh, he did.
Oh He Did. Spineless Heartless. Today I listened to, no, not today. Yesterday I listened to Miley Cyrus's new album. So she's on
So
there.
good.
Did you say it was so good?
So good. I love Miley Cyrus, bro. Don't even disrespect.
Listen, I'm not saying I hate Miley Cyrus. I love her voice. I really fell in love with her a couple years ago when she did that cover of Mazzy Star for, I think it was NPR Tiny Desk Concerts or whatever. I fell in love with her with that cover. So I've been like more open to listening to her and stuff. So I checked out the new album. There's a few songs that I like, but I'm going to be honest, I feel like she can do better. I don't know if she's never been a solo songwriter.
I
But
think
like,
she wrote. I think most of her songs post Disney she wrote by herself.
Well, that's what I was hoping, and I looked on like the credits for her album, and there's like 6 writers on each song. She's on each
Oh
one of them, but
fuck.
there's like 6 writers, and not that that's bad, okay? I just think that if you're gonna have 6 minds working on a song, it should be better than the like. Oh man, I'm really stepping into hot water right now, but whatever. This is how I feel. I feel like it should be better than just like the average normal lyricism that I hear on every other pop song, right? Like I almost called her Miley's had an interesting life, and I'm sure she's got a very interesting perspective on things, and I'd actually really love to hear it, and not just like, look at look at my girl right here, Casey Musgraves. This album Golden Hour, that was like marriage stuff, and then the next one was like divorce. Like, write about your life, man. Like, I mean, I could be talking out of my ass. I don't actually know if Casey Musgraves only writes her songs. Let's check right here. Producer, composer, lyricist. She's got a couple. She's got about two other writers, which I think is pretty normal. I think even like Sheryl Crow does that. So just to like bounce ideas off. But when there's like a team of people, when you've got like a crew, like enough people to pull off a heist, you should be able to write a better song, okay? And that's just how I feel. Now, I'm not saying Miley's bad, okay? There were a couple songs I really liked. Let me see. I'll name them so you don't think I'm a liar. I actually really liked Flowers. I think Flowers was the song that like I saw it on TikTok, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. Yeah. I'll check that out. I really liked Jaded. Honestly, the first 4 songs of the album I'm really into. Flowers, Jaded, Rose-Colored Lenses, and 1,000 Miles featuring Brandi Carlile. I liked those songs. But then I got into, like, Island and Wonder Woman, and I don't know. I'm just didn't care for them. She sounds great, but I need more from her.
Check out she did a live sessions on Disney Plus. Check that out. That shit is so good.
All right.
Dude, I recommend it.
All right. And I know she's talented. Like, that's part of the reason why, like, I'm open to like exploring her discography, is because I know that she's a really talented singer. So
go back and listen to the Hannah Montana movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
I know this sounds weird, but I promise you, listen to that album and you'll be amazed.
Listen, I used to watch Hannah Montana, okay? I thought that show was funny.
You're way too old for that, bro. No way.
What? Bro, no. Now
that show came out in like 2006, bro.
Was it 2006?
Yeah, I grew up with Hannah Montana.
But also you have to remember, I have a younger brother. I know.
Yeah, but weren't you like, how old were you in 2006? Weren't you already like,
I was either 8th grade freshman year.
14, 15?
Yeah. And Disney Channel is for what? Babies or
I don't know. I think
adolescents.
That's a little old, but maybe you're right. Maybe I'm tripping, but I don't know, bro. I think it's a little sus.
Listen, I grew up with Disney Channel, okay? I have more time in on Disney Channel than you do, okay? So check your youthful privilege, okay? And recognize that I am allowed to have watched Hannah Montana before school or after school or whatever it was. Yeah, it was 2006 to 2011. It was literally on while I was in high school.
Damn, you graduated high school in 2011?
2010.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm old as shit. I get it. Okay? Just because you're a child, okay, doesn't mean...
hey, I can legally drink now, Chris.
Bro, it has been a minute. It's been I've known you for a long time, and never once have you been able to drink.
Nope. It's crazy, ain't it?
Time makes fools of us all. I was just looking at the Hannah Montana Wikipedia page, and there's a tab that I wasn't expecting, and that's controversies. I didn't know that there was controversies over Hannah Montana. Cyrus's public image, revised episode, lawsuits. Oh, there's like a whole bunch of stuff going on.
There was lawsuits involved in that show.
Television writer Buddy
sucks.
Sheffield alleged he pitched the concept for a television series titled Rock and Roland, great name, to Disney Channel in 2001, it would have focused on a junior high school student who leads a secret double life as a rock star. Sound familiar? The initial proposal was unsuccessful, and in August 2007, Sheffield filed a lawsuit. 2007 is the year after Hannah Montana started, which was in 2006. You were right. Sheffield filed a lawsuit against the network based on the similarities between his pitch and Hannah Montana. The lawsuit said Sheffield was owed millions of dollars in damages. A trial was scheduled to begin in August 2008, but the case was resolved privately beforehand. They paid that dude a buttload of money to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they definitely paid that dude a lot of cash.
Yeah. But hey, man, that's cool that it looks like it was, well, Rock and Roland. To me, that would assume that the character was going to be a male, right? Roland, that's a male name. Okay, so
gotta be.
Shout out for Disney for making it, centralized female, local. How do I say that?
Female centric.
There it is. Thank you. Appreciate you helping me out there.
I thought you were gonna nail it on the head the first time you were saying it, but you just fumbled, man.
Listen, as I said earlier, I have been really coming to terms that I think my poor lifestyle is really, really affecting my brain functionality, okay? Granted, I do have ADHD, okay? I might be on the autism spectrum. I don't know because it's hard to test at 31 years old. But also ADHD, potentially autism spectrum. Also, many, many, many years of drug usage. And that's why you hear me say it a lot on the show. Moderation, okay? Moderation. I'll never condemn drugs. I don't think drugs are the problem. It's the people whose emotional issues turn them to the Band-Aid that is, drug abuse. But yeah, I also think that just this entire endeavor, like just the rekindling of it, has made me kind of stressed. Like I just didn't know how things were going to play out. Nervous, like people are watching me now, and that's like a whole nother dynamic that I'm not used to. Like I'm used to the guests being able to see me. I've always been able to see them for the most part, but now I've got people like that are gonna watch me and like judge my reactions, and that's like a new thing. So it's been nerve-wracking.
We'll make you look good. Don't worry about it.
Oh, thanks. If you make me look half as good as what I can only assume was a homeless woman outside of the Italian restaurant I went to yesterday, she stopped me as I was walking up, and I don't know that I can accurately recreate her accent and how she spoke, but I'm going to give it my best shot, okay? So I walk up to the building, and there's this little outlet, right? It's like, just concrete. There's a little bench and like an umbrella, and she's got her purse and some bags, and I walk up. I'm wearing my sunglasses. I got my hair down. It just washed, okay? So it's looking fresh. And she goes, "Oh man, goddamn, your hair look really good." And I was like, "Excuse me, sorry, what'd you say?"
Excuse me?
And she said, "Man, I'd kill to have your hair." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. It was one of the few gifts my mother gave me." And she was like, "Well, shout out to your mother, man. Where she is. Shout out to my mom too. Like, she gave me this kind of hair, but it's all kind of dry and it gets all." I was like, "Whoa, yikes!" And I was like, "All right, like yeah, thanks. I just tried to be courteous and like yeah, it's my hair. It sheds a lot. Just trying to make small talk and like be respectful that they gave me a compliment, but also kind of let them know I'm not interested in talking to you." But
you ever been hit on like full on by a homeless person?
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know entirely if I fully comprehend what being hit on feels like or sounds like. Okay, unless you're like really direct with me and like, "Hey, I think you're really hot." And like if it's got to be that direct. If you're just like, "Hey, your hair looks nice."
Social cues, bro.
Your hair looks nice. I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." And I just take it and move on. Like, yeah, I remember one time I was in Indy. I went down to the Children's Museum because I hadn't been in like a decade. I wanted to see what was new with it. And I went to Starbucks before I went, and I was in there, and there was this cute girl who was like, I was wearing my gothic zipper pants. I was wearing
Yeah.
those, and I had this like tie-dye sweatshirt on, and she was like, "Hey, I like your sweatshirt." And she's like, "Actually, I like your whole outfit." And I was like, "Thanks." Like, and then I just went on to explain, like, I got these pants off of Wish, and I got this thing off of Instagram. It's from this guy named this. You should check him out. He like makes cool
Man did
stuff.
a whole haul.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, here's where I got these things that you said you liked. So here you go." And like, instead of probably taking it as like they were hitting on me, I think it just comes down to the fact, like, I can't even like fathom rejection on like a real level. Like, it's so like I can't take it, right? So instead of even perceiving it as a possible inkling of, hey, this person's into you, I just avoid it. And I'm like, hey, yeah, oh, you like this? I got this here and I got this here. There you go. Now you can have your own. Bye. And then I fucking leave. Yeah.
I got hit on by a homeless woman a couple months ago. It was
Yeah.
outside the gas station by my house.
Hell yeah. That's where you meet all the
there's
wives,
like this,
bro.
Oh, dude, it's great. So there's like this pallet of water bottles she's just sitting on. I get out of my car, and I guess my outfit looked good or something. She goes, "Woo! I want to take you home."
Oh.
And everything in my body just like shrunk, and I had to stop myself from saying, "What home? Where are we going?"
Oh, take you
I
home. Oh,
felt
you want to
really
take me
bad,
back behind
but she
Chili's
was
to your little
clearly
cardboard
homeless.
box?
Yeah, like she had a shopping cart with her full of all of her stuff, and I was like, "There's no way this girl's got a house. I just don't believe it."
I had this revelation yesterday that I would be a great homeless person, right? I love the outdoors, okay? I'm a simple man. I don't need fed extravagant food. I'm fine with eating cold soup out of a can and just eating like peanut butter burritos is what I call them. You take a little flour shell, spread some peanut butter, roll it up, boom. Perfect snack. It's good all day. It's good at any time of the day, right? I'm fine with eating those every day. I'm also great at conversation. I think I would be a fun homeless person. Like, if I needed money,
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't just ask for it. I would try and do something. I would try and make you laugh. I would try and earn that, like, dollar that you give me, right? And I think that's really what it comes down to. You want to be a successful, not homeless person. That's the wrong word. Not beggar. What's the other word? It starts with a busker, right? I like the word busker. If you want to be a successful busker, it's got to be a barter system, okay? Do something. Tell me a joke. Do a magic trick. Put me on to some new music. I don't know if you have a phone to listen to new music or whatever, but if you do, like, exchange something. Give me something, I'll give you something. I mean, I feel that sounds kind of like, oh, well, where's the kindness? Can't you just do something good for it being the sake of it being good? No, because I don't think that what's the term?
damn.
Selflessness. I don't think selflessness is a real thing, because I think no matter what the case, even if you're doing something good because it's the right thing to do, you get something out of it because you believe that it's the right thing to do. You doing the good thing gives you dopamine or serotonin. There is no such thing as selflessness. I don't think it's true. That's my argument. And if you'd like to argue about it, hit up the DMs or fucking email me, bro. I love arguing, okay? It's one of my favorite things to do. And it doesn't even have to get heated, like, oh, you're dumb and stupid. Like, no, I just like to argue. It's like, it's a fun exercise for me. How can I twist this to where I'm on the winning side? I love it. But yeah,
I got another question for you, Chris.
go for it.
All right. So during this hiatus you've been in, can you give me one fun story and one embarrassing story?
Fun story and embarrassing story. So I actually went back through my calendar because I have a horrible memory. Like, I remember things, but I don't necessarily remember when they happened, right? I'm terrible with time. So I had to go back through my 2022 calendar and look at all the shit I did. And I'll list off some things, and I'll try and remember. What'd you say? Fun thing and embarrassing thing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can list off a bunch of fun things, real just rapid fire. Okay. During the hiatus, it was the first time in 4 years that I had never not been doing the show. It had always been like consistent. We would take a holiday off now and then, but like it was always every week there was new content. Well, last year was the first time I'd ever gone a full year, not first time ever, but since the creation of the podcast, the first time that I'd ever not been doing it. So I got to like kind of live my life a little bit because I'm bad at time management. So the podcast was entirely taking up my life. But last year I got to go see John Mayer on the Sob Rock tour. Saw him in Chicago. I got to see Billy Joel at Notre Dame Stadium, which is like 15 minutes from my apartment. I went with Nick, who's an old co-host, co-founder of the show. Shout out to him. We had a great time. We
bought weed right before it.
Say what?
We bought weed together right before that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we went up to good old the Mitten up there, up north, and got some legal tender, right? But yeah, I got to smoke a little drugs while the Piano Man was playing the Piano Man right in front of me, and it was the coolest thing. Like I understand when like musicians want to retire, and I get it. Like I think the new move should just be stop making new music and just go out and play the hits. If you've got a 40-year long career, you don't need new music, okay? You've put out all your best stuff. And I hate to say that to be like, oh, you don't have anything more in you. But at a certain point, I feel like your life, you don't have the same, like, high-octane emotions that you're feeling anymore. You know, you're 60 years old, okay? Everything's dulled. That's just how it goes. Like, I feel like from, like, 15 to, like, I'll go as far up as 40. That's the window. Granted, there's going to be periods where it's going to be more creative just because I think it ties into not having experience and just being like vulnerable, and you're only regurgitating how you're experiencing. But as you get older, you know what to do, and it's just not as adventurous anymore, right? You just know how to get through it. But anyways, I'll stop ranting. But I saw Billy Joel. I met Steve-O. I went to his comedy show. I met him. He was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I watched for his tour that he was doing. He showed us the video of him getting a vasectomy, and it was weird. It was unsettling. Yeah, they showed the little like tendon thing that they cut. They pulled it out of his scrotum, and it made a noise. It made a noise, bro, and it was on the video. And I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, Steve-O, I'd never change." I went to Devil Wears Prada zombie tour. I saw them. It was
really.
It was fine. That's not the Devil Wears Prada that I love. My window is very small. Like it was a very influential and very impressionable time. It was high school, right? With Roots Above and Branches Below, Plagues, and then a little bit of the one after that. I think it's Throne Room or something like that. But
Dead Throne, I think.
Dead Throne,
right?
yeah. But that's about it. Like I wanted to check out Zombie because it got everybody, like a lot of Devil Wears Prada fans really love it. But it just wasn't for me. It's not.
So that's one of my favorite EPs from them. I thought they were sick. I saw them in probably 2015.
Yeah,
and they were incredible.
Like
I mean, maybe time wears on you a little bit, but
I think I've grown very attached to the specific sounds of a band, right? So like I attached emotionally to the early 2000s Devil Wears Prada, like, and that transfers into like many bands. Like I was super into Avenged Sevenfold in my middle school and like high school career for like Waking the Fallen, City of Evil, and then the self-titled. But then like even with the self-titled, you could hear Matt's vocals is just like deteriorating because he had that surgery and he pushes himself because he loves what he does. But then, the Rev died, and then just like as they have evolved as a band, their sound has changed, and it's just not it's not the sound that I liked. Like, I still respect them and appreciate them, but that's not the music I like anymore. And then I went to C2E2 for the first time. That was pretty crazy. I've never been to an anime convention like that before. It was nutty. I bought a bunch of art. There's actually a bunch of it right here, but I don't know how I'm going to show it to you. Maybe I'll take a photo of it someday and I'll show you. But it's really cool. I've got 3 like paintings of the I guess you could call them angels from from Neon Evangelion Neon, something like Evangelion. I don't fucking know. Okay, it's a long name, and they keep putting out movies for it, so I never know. Anyways, and then I've got Gundams down here, and then I've got a Full Metal Alchemist painting right here, and a Cowboy Bebop little art print that my friend Maddie got me. Shout out to Maddie. But yeah, C2E2 was a lot of fun. And then I went to Riot Fest for the first time. I'd never been to Riot Fest. Riot Fest was pretty cool. I got to see My Chemical Romance for the first time. It was amazing. It was everything I'd hoped for. But then there was also things that made it, like, awful. And one of those things was Riot Fest was supposed to be the initial, like, comeback for their reunion, right? In 2020, I think it was. But then COVID happened, and then they just pushed things back, and then their show got moved, right? So there were everybody that was there on, I think it was Friday for My Chemical Romance. It was so full. And then when they would play, he had to stop after every song to get people to like back up because they were smushing the kids in the front. And I was like, yeah, that's fun. But other than that, it was a great time. I got to see a bunch of different bands. A lot of bands that I would never have, like, seen, because Riot Fest is more like punk, and that's not necessarily my go-to. But I got to see Amberlin. I saw Yellowcard. I saw, oh, damn it. What was their name? I don't know. I saw I saw the Juliana Theory for the first time. That's one of the bands I was really excited about, and he sounded really great. I wanted to try and get him to swap sunglasses with me, but I was too afraid to get his attention. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I get gun shy around people that make music that I really admire or that touches me emotionally. I'm like, oh, please like me. Anyways, and then I went to Disney World. I spent a week in Florida, and that was a lot of fun. It's like the 10th or 11th time I've been there. So, and before you get all judgy, no, my family is not wealthy, okay? When I was a kid, my dad pulled me and my brother aside and he said, hey, I got a question for you. Would you rather have a college fund or would you rather go on vacation? And me and my brother looked at each other and we went, vacation. So that's what we did. Instead of saving for college, we just went on vacations, and a lot of times we went to Disney World.
That's real as hell. Yeah. That's so real, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've always respected that. Like, you gave us the choice. That way, you know, in the future, when we're like, why don't we have a college fund? I'm like, bro, I asked you. I said, hey, what do you want? You want college? You want to worry about college in 10 years, or do you want to go to fucking Universal Studios? And I'm like, obviously. Well, let's go to Florida. And that's what we did.
That's an easy ass choice, bro. Yeah. I don't even blame you.
Yeah, and it was worth it. Florida was cool. I met up with Shane from the Nice Boys. He's been a staple on the show for a while. He's been my buddy for it's been over a decade. I think I met him shortly after I was out of high school, maybe even when I was in high school. He was friends with my brother's girlfriend at the time, and that's how we met. But yeah, he showed me around some places. We went record shopping and whatnot. It was a lot of fun. I got to take the infamous picture in front of the Animal Kingdom sign where I stood in front of the I and the M, and so it just said Anal Kingdom.
Hell yeah.
That made the entire trip. I tried to... me and my brother were leaving, and I was like, oh, hey, real quick, I want to see if I can get this guy to take a photo of me. And I was like, hey, can you take a photo for me? And he was like, yeah, sure. So getting his camera set up. And I was like, all right, so can you take a photo of me standing in front of the sign blocking the I and the M? And he stood there and he like looked at the sign and he goes, no, I can't do that. And I was like, man. And he was like, I was like, why not? And he was like, I'll get in trouble. I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, that's fair. I was like, you telling me the mouse is going to fucking hunt you down for taking an anal kingdom photo? And he said, yeah. And I was like, fuck, okay, dude. Well, I'll just take it myself then. And we did.
The
And
Mouseketeers, bro.
mm-hmm,
They're like the ops for real.
yeah. So those are the fun things. I'd say the most fun thing from that list, I would say probably Billy Joel. I mean, Riot Fest was crazy, right? Like it was just mayhem. There was one point I was walking through the crowd, as you're one to do. You know, there's going to be little like lanes for people to walk through these giant crowds. And I remember we were walking past this dude, and he just goes, "Hey, do I have a booger in my nose?" And it was just the funniest thing to like just to walk through. Like I was walking through the conversation of a group, and I just heard one guy ask another person, "Hey, do I have a booger in my nose?" I love it. That's one of my favorite things about going to festivals is that as you're walking through, every little group of people is inside their own bubble, and there's their own like canonical existence that revolves in that little circle. And as you walk by, they're all each their own little universe, and you could just get little snippets, and you can like make, whoa, what are they talking about? What happened? What are they excited to see? It's one of my favorite things about large gatherings of people is just hearing all the different walks and like all these different people are all in this one spot. It's fascinating. I love it. And now you said something embarrassing.
Give me an embarrassing story, Chris. I know you have one.
Yeah. I mean, the most recent embarrassing thing I have a story for, but I think something that happened during hiatus specifically. I don't know that it's like I have a story to tell about it, but during the shutdown, during the hiatus, I learned that I have to be doing something. I can't just be stoned and watching movies all the time. Even though I love doing that, I can't do it all the time. I've got to have some kind of project, right? So I took it upon myself to try my hand at stand-up comedy. And it's something I'd always been told that people thought I'd be good at. And like, as much as I love trying to be funny in conversation, writing jokes and performing them on a stage is an entirely different game. Like, being funny in conversation, that's whatever. That's improv. That's fine. But like, writing jokes, rehearsing them, performing them in front of people is the strangest thing. Like, I think the only embarrassing thing about that is when you write a joke that you think is really funny and clever, and then you go on stage in front of, 50 people, and you say it, and nobody fucking responds. It is the most gut-wrenching experience ever, bro. Just having people, like, you're like, oh, they'll like this, and then it's like, just fucking crickets, bro. Man. Now, I don't want to say that to be like, oh, I was bad and I never got laughs. I got laughs, okay? The thing was, it's open mic, so you only get a small amount of time. Like, I had some pretty good jokes that always got laughs, but then, just trying new stuff. Like, I had this joke, now, before you jump down my throat, I had this joke about trans people and trans porn. I'm pro-trans, okay? Do whatever you want. You can't see it behind me, but, oh, wait, yeah, you can. Right here, right there, that one right there, that's See You Space Cowboy. Great band, okay? Check out, Connie is a phenomenal vocalist. So good. Go see them live. They're blowing up. But it was this joke that I had about how hetero porn is essentially the same thing as trans porn. It's got all the same ingredients. It's got tits, it's got hair, it's got ass, and there's normally a big dick fucking a vagina. Like, it's got all the same ingredients. I don't know why you're hating on it, right? It's like it's the same thing, But that was probably the most gut-wrenching. It's like, as soon as I brought it up, I felt the room shift. I'm like, no, guys, I'm not like shitting. I'm trying to convert you to be pro it. Like, it's fine. It's okay. Like, you don't have to worry.
Tough room, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, it's Indiana. So, that was probably the most embarrassing thing, is just trying to tell jokes, that didn't always land, you know. But yeah, I think that's. Oh, I'll tell you the most recent embarrassing thing. This happened not too long ago. I went to Mission Barbecue. I don't know if you have them where you're at, but we have them here in Indiana. You don't have Mission Barbecue in Texas?
Hell no, we have real barbecue, bro. I live in Texas.
How is Mission Barbecue not real barbecue?
Come down to Texas, try some actual barbecue, and you'll see the fucking difference. I promise.
I mean, what's the difference? It's just the meat, right? The meat quality and the
I mean, they
sauce.
cook they cook the same meat, but it's not a. I don't know, man. It's a
they've got
different.
the
It's like
whole.
a culture here.
Oh yeah, the Texas culture, huh? The
It's like a
state that used
thing,
to be
bro.
Mexico has got a real culture.
You won't get it, bro. I promise.
You're right. You know
Gotta
what?
see it to believe it, bro.
You house me for a weekend in Tejas, and I'll fucking come down, and
Bro, I have
you
a
can
spare
show me
room
how
in
the
my house.
Texans
You
do
can
it,
pull up.
and I can't wait to be harassed by big manly Texans. Be like, what are you, some kind of rock star homo? It's like, no, dude, I just have long hair. Okay, it's not a thing. It's not a big deal.
I live in the liberal part of Texas, bro.
Oh,
I
do you?
promise you, that's not gonna happen.
All right, man. I was kind of excited to get some. I love when people want to shit talk me, just because I've never been in a fight, but I do love a verbal altercation because it's like, all right, whose sword is gonna be sharper? And most of the time, I think it's mine. But that's a biased opinion, so you can't really accept that. But I do love exchanging words with people because I like trying to get them to. I like trying to make them laugh because as soon as I can make them laugh, boom, fight's over. You don't even want to punch me now because you're like, fuck.
Fuck, this guy got me.
He's funny. Damn it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I got.
Well, shit, man. All right, I got another question for you, Chris.
Shoot.
All right, my question is, um, what are you looking forward to the most during this relaunch of Toon Junkies podcast?
What am I most looking forward to? I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about is broadening the audience. Not necessarily in a sense that, oh, I want a lot of people to watch me, but I do want a lot of people to give attention to the bands that I talk to, because most of the bands we talk to are DIY, unsigned, just, road gigging it, just stuck in a van trying to tour it out, And I really, as we all, I'm sure, have been made aware, especially as of the last couple of years, it's hard to be a touring musician. As much as we like to think there's a lot of money in it, there's not, okay? Especially now you got venues trying to take merch cuts, which is fucked up and it shouldn't be a thing. I think what would be really cool in the year of our Lord 2023 is if we stopped supporting these venues that want to make merch cuts and we bring back house shows. House shows, fucking, let's meet up at a place that's not technically, we're not technically supposed to be there, and try and play a show before the cops come and then run. Like, that's, maybe don't do that. I don't want anybody to get in trouble. But, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the DIY underground scene is really going to blow up because of the restrictions and confines that the industry people are trying to get more money from, I'm really excited for that, because in the relaunch of in bringing this video, reaching a wider audience, I think that I would really love to be able to get like a Patreon going, not to necessarily support me monetarily, but so that I can pay the guests, the bands, for their time, because that's what I'd really love to do. Because, as I stated earlier, some of these conversations go for 2-3 hours, and if that's 2-3 hours of time I'm taking from you that you could be, writing a song or like working on your own, self-production or whatever, I want to be able to contribute to that, to this endeavor. I'm taking away from your creative time. So, I mean, I get it. Oh, well, you're helping promote them. Yeah, kind of. But I feel like I want to do more. I want to be able to help these bands more. I want to be able to promote their merch. That's where they make their money, because we all know Spotify and them aren't paying them any money for the music that we listen to, which sucks. But yeah, that's mainly is. I'm excited to reach a bigger audience so that the bands that we have on the show can get more grow their fan base. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. And actually, while we're on the topic of these like DIY unsigned bands that are just kind of road dogging it, I went to a concert last night, Chris,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, I met the most incredible like 2000s hardcore pop punky type deal, right? It's this
Tell me
band right here,
more.
Stateside. So
Oh, stateside.
I
Okay.
so I met these guys. They're from California. Super. I mean, it was retro as hell. Like just their whole deal. And sitting right up front, there's a bunch of moshing going on. For a Wednesday, there was hella people there. Like it was packed.
Yeah.
It was at this venue called Rubber Gloves. And so I was like, oh, these guys are sick. They're so rad. Never heard them before. So I went up to their merch table. And if this guy ever watches this, I'm so sorry, but their vocalist was up on stage and he looked regular sized. Um, and
I don't know
then
what that
I go up to
means.
the, he looked like he was just, I don't know, probably about my height, I thought. Um, but then I get to the merch table and I'm so sorry if you watch this. I mean this out of respect and love because you were really cool and you did a great job. But this dude was max 4'10".
Ooh, cutting it close to, was that dwarfism? Cutting it close.
It threw me the fuck off, dude. Like I was so confused because up on stage, he looked like
Yeah,
pretty big. Like
he's
he looked
elevated.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I should have just looked a little closer because seeing him next to like the guitar player was like 6'2", 6'3". I should have taken context clues. But yeah, no, I was just really thrown off, man. But I'll tell you, they're dogging it, dude, for real. Like they're
Stateside's
going on
good.
a
You saying I
tour.
should check them out?
Check them out. They're so sick. They had this. They're about to release another album, I think. They played a bunch of their new songs, and they were. I mean, dude, it sounds like 2011 Story So Far, maybe a little bit of Title Fight.
Look,
Um,
it looks like in November they released a little EP called Bitter Spring with a picture of
mhm.
a young human in a Pikachu costume. I love it.
Yeah, dude, check it out. It's sick. I was listening to it on my drive today.
All
It's
right.
it's so rad.
Shout! I'll
Um,
look into stateside. Stateside, I'm coming for you.
but
Not
yeah, they were
not in a gross way.
not a
Like
weird way.
I'm gonna
Don't say
I'm gonna
that.
email you. I'm gonna hop in your DMs or something.
But yeah, they're just hopping on their tour. They drove from California to Texas, I think overnight. Like that's like a 20 some hour drive.
Yeah, that's like a whole day.
Um, and he was like, "Yeah, we're stopping two places in Texas, and then we're over to the East Coast." And I'm like, "Damn, dude!"
Damn.
They're on tour with this other band called Jockey, which I unfortunately couldn't stay for. I had to take my friends home. But yeah, stateside, check them out. They were super sick.
Hell yeah. I'm always interested in finding new unsigned bands. Hear me, viewer? Hear me? See me? I've yet to learn. I've yet to figure out the lingo for this, and how do I address you without alienating like people who aren't. It doesn't matter. Just junkies. I'll just say that. How the fuck is that? Just deal with it, okay? But yeah, it's I don't remember what I was gonna say now. I threw myself off
That's
trying to
okay.
correct my own linguistic skills, and I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh well, you win some, you lose
Well,
some.
I got some funny questions for you, Chris. They're gonna be rapid fire questions.
Okay. Oh, I remember what I was
Is
gonna
that good for
say.
you? Go
Viewer,
ahead, shoot.
listener, hey, if you know of an unsigned band that you think that would love to be on the show, hit us up, tunejunkies@gmail.com. You can do it that way. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Send me the links. Do not send me a band that doesn't have any music. Okay? I need at least an EP. At the very minimum, I need an EP. And an EP can be 4, 5, or 6 songs, okay? No more, no less. I'm just kidding. It can be whatever. But you got to have music. I've had people hit me like, "Hey, we want to be on the show. I'm like, okay, where do I listen to your music? And they're like, oh, we don't have any out yet. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to talk to you about, dude? Like, I don't know what you sound like. What if I don't even like you? So please, if you're a brand new band, listen, I'm gonna be supportive, but don't try and get on the show if I can't listen to your music, okay? EP. Give me an EP, and then we'll talk, okay? All right, sorry. Tell me about these funny questions.
You're good. All right, I got some good questions for you. All right. You're on a road trip.
Okay.
And you can stop at any gas station to take the worst shit in your life. What gas station are you stopping at?
So, I don't know what the regional like cutoffs for certain gas stations are. So in this scenario, I'm just gonna assume that all the gas stations I know about exist everywhere. I would say, so nasty shit, huh?
The worst one of your life.
Well, here's the thing. I hate taking shits anywhere other than my house. I have a bidet here because I'm better than you. And it's really hard to get out of that, right? I'm very conditioned. I don't feel like my asshole is clean without using the bidet, so I try and save my poops for when I'm at home. But in a real emergency, I would need the bathroom to be kind of nice. So Speedway is out. Speedway is not making the cut. Speedway bathrooms are always a disaster.
I agree.
I have a real emotional connection to 7-Eleven. I love 7-Eleven, but I don't know that I would use their bathrooms. 7-Eleven bathrooms are notorious for, like, actual junkies, not tune junkies. You might find me in a 7-Eleven bathroom, but you will not find a tune junkie in a 7-Eleven bathroom as often as you would an actual drug-addicted junkie. So 7-Eleven's out. You know who I think is the move? Family Express. Family Express.
Really?
Yes, because the bathrooms, the Family Expresses that I've been into, they're always very brightly lit, which sends like an environmental like, hey, we are aware of the space here, and so we clean it, right? But Family Express, I think, is the nasty shit that I would take if given a gas station. Yeah, I think
that's a good answer.
Yeah, I normally would try and go for a restaurant. That's normally what I'm more comfortable with, but just because gas stations are just wild cards, dude. Everybody and their mother goes to gas stations. Like, I feel, restaurants are preferred, but in a pinch, if I have to emergency shit, I'm going Family Express.
All right, next question, Chris. How many chickens do you think it would take to kill an elephant?
To kill an elephant?
Yeah.
Well, people often forget that chickens, I think, are considered carnivores. Like, they do and will eat meat. So let's get that out of the way. They will and can eat meat. But how many chickens would it take to kill an elephant? I think it would take like 1 million. Like, well, not that's excessive. It wouldn't take that many. But like several thousand at the very minimum, because elephants are huge. They've got thick skin, right? And you know, the only weapon that a chicken or rooster?
I guess interchangeably. I guess whichever you want.
I feel like chickens are more docile. Like, they can get aggressive, but roosters will fight to draw blood. I mean, it'll still take the same amount of like chickens, chickens, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna go with 8,000. 8,000 chickens is what it would take to take down a fucking elephant. And
I think it's a good answer. I think I would close in more on like 15,000.
Oh, okay, you're going
personally.
Okay, double-digit thousand. All right.
I just feel like you need a lot to like get the elephant to not run away.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta swarm it, you know.
The only way that I could think there would be like a fast and efficient way to kill an elephant isn't a way that a chicken would attack, right? I think it'd be more of like a a bug situation where like bugs, like they wouldn't necessarily attack the outside. They would go inside. They would find the orifices and they would go inside. If chickens did that to an elephant, it'd only take a couple because they could just choke it, going into its throat. But I can't really give chickens direction on how to fight an elephant, so I'm sticking with 8,000. I like your double-digit thousand answer though. That's a solid.
Well,
pick.
you gotta take into account some, you gotta do some math on that. I'm not very good at math, but
same. English. Even though you've seen me struggle over this past hour with it, it's my stronger characteristic. I suck at math.
All right, I think I have a good one for you. I think it's gonna make you think.
All
right. So you're familiar with butt rock, right? If I say the term butt rock, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so out of all of the butt rock bands you can think of, who would you want to hang out with the most?
The most. Viewer, you don't know this. Not yet, anyway. But I'm a big fan of butt rock, okay? I was in middle school when butt rock was taking off, and it was very impressionable, okay? You got, like, bands like Default and Fuel and Our Lady Peace, I would you throw Foo Fighters into butt rock?
Fuck no.
Okay.
I think Foo Fighters just transcends that kind of genre.
Because, see, I ask because butt rock is notoriously, like, post-grunge and hard rock, alt-rock thing, and that's, oh my god, who did I just say?
You said, like, Fuel, Default.
No, who did I... Oh, I said Foo Fighters. Sorry.
Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
sorry.
So Foo Fighters kind of falls... I mean, they're post-grunge. They're literally the definition of post-grunge. It came after Nirvana. But, like, I always felt like they kind of fell into the butt rock. But butt rock, when people say that, they think of, like, Creed and Nickelback and, Fuel and Crossfade and just, like, that era, the early 2000s, like, hard rock, post-grunge, whatever. And I don't really know a lot about those bands in terms of who and how they are as people. I only really know their music. At that time, social media wasn't big, so I didn't have a lot of insight into who they were as people. And I didn't watch interviews or anything like that. But given what I know now, my answer would most assuredly be Nickelback.
I'm gonna throw you for a loop right now, and I'm gonna give you my answer, right?
Okay.
Theory of a Dead Man, and let me tell you why, Chris.
Okay.
When I found out that Theory of a Dead Man was a band that like the guy from Nickelback, Chad Kroeger, he really liked and was like, "We're getting you everything in the world. We're gonna make you huge." I just know for a fact that every dude in Theory of a Dead Man is probably the biggest douche in history, and I have to hang out with them. They're probably so much fun.
I think in their early days, I am also a fan of Theory of a Dead Man, but much like I was talking about Devil Wears Prada, my theory that I like was their more not modern hard rock that they do now. Now it's very poppy, but like I was a big fan of. Let me see. Let me quote this correctly. So I also think it's weird that even though they are Theory of a Dead Man, their merch and shit only ever says Theory now, and I think that's very strange. I wonder if Theory of a Dead Man is hard to market. But I really liked. Where'd it go? This one? Is it this one? No. Oh, I'm in the wrong fucking section, dummy. Those are EPs. I need to go to albums. All right, here we go. So like they're self-titled. And Gasoline, these are all like 2002, 2005, 2008. 2008 was when I was really horny for Theory of a Dead Man. That was Scars and Souvenirs. They had, I think that's when they like really kind of blew up. They had like a, what was it? Bad Girlfriend, Hate My Life, So Happy, By the Way, Not Meant to Be. They had a lot of really popular singles, but yeah. Theory of a Dead Man, I think you might be onto something.
I feel like those guys have to be kick-ass. Like they just have to be the worst people in history. No offense, actually full offense to you, fuck you, bro.
Actually full offense.
But like, no, they have to be just terrible people to hang out with. And I imagine going to a NASCAR race with some Bud Light with Theory of a Dead Man. That's got to be like top 10 moments in human history right there.
I think the NASCAR fandom is absolutely overlaps with the Theory of a Dead Man fan base. I think you are
I
absolutely
have
onto
to.
something. Yeah. And that's not to shit on Theory, okay? Theory of a Dead Man, whatever. Maybe that's why they kind of changed their name, because it's just too much to say Theory of a Dead Man. That's 6 syllables. Who's got time for 6 syllables? So, Theory, right? I I would interview them, and I will reach out. I will see what I can do to try and contact Theory of a Dead Man, see if I can be like, hey, so my buddy, he thinks you're bad people. What do you think about that? I'll
Kind
just
of
do
lure them in, be like, prove you're not a huge douche
the music
to
you've been
this
putting out these past
21-year-old guy.
the music you've been putting out these past couple years leans kind of really poppy, and we want to know, are you guys douchebags now? I might be able to word that question in a way that it'd be funny enough that it wouldn't be entirely insulting. I think I could sell it as a joke, and then they could like play with it, and I bet you they would. I bet you they would play on it too. They seem down to earth enough that they could be like Nickelback. I've been seeing a lot of Nickelback interviews now that they're going on tour, and they genuinely seem like cool, funny dudes. Like, they're just like, yeah, everybody shit on us for a while, but even though everybody was hating on us, like, it didn't hurt us at all. Like, it only made people talk about us more, and we were getting just as many streams and all that stuff. Like, we still had tours and people came out to shows. Like, it didn't change anything. It was just like this weird internet joke that everybody was doing. He's like, but it didn't really affect us all that. It just kind of hurt our feelings a little bit. But then once we realized that it wasn't like, even though people were shitting on us, they still know our music. And that's what I've been saying for years. People have been shitting on Nickelback for years, but I know for a fact that you know all the words to at least 2 of their songs, okay? They were the biggest fucking rock band in the world for like 6 years. Everybody knew them. They were in a Spider-Man movie, okay? I mean, it wasn't really Nickelback, but it was Chad Kroeger, and that might as well just be Nickelback. You know, no, not to shit on the other band members or anything, but he does a lot of the writing, you know, so whatever. But yeah, he was in a Spider-Man movie, so what the fuck have you done with your life, huh? You just talk shit on the internet? Do you got a song in Spider-Man? I bet you don't. Give the band their props where they're due, okay?
That leads me perfectly into my next question, actually.
It's almost like I knew what you were going to say.
My next question is, what is your favorite soundtrack from a video game and a movie? Favorite soundtrack?
Ooh. Okay. Favorite video game soundtrack? I'm going to go with Bomberman 64. Bomberman
Wow.
64 introduced me to drum and bass, and I've never forgotten it. So much, it had such an impact on me that when I first heard Slipknot's self-titled album, you know how at the beginning, I think it's Wait and Bleed. There's like a it's very
Yeah.
quick. It immediately I heard that I was like, oh, that's drum and bass. That's like Bomberman, and that's like a weird correlation that I have always had with that first album of Slipknot. I was like, there's like a weird kind of like jungle and bass influence to this that I've always really loved, but. Yeah, I would say Bomberman 64, but I would like to give an honorable mention to this album right here. Can you see what I'm pointing to? This one right here?
I think so, yeah.
This is called Hecho en Hyrule, okay? For my non-Spanish speakers, that means it was made in Hyrule. I couldn't give you the band name. I really apologize. In fact, we're not going to do that. We're going to actually give you the name so that you can go and enjoy it yourself. Hecho en Hyrule. Let's see if I can find it. Yes, okay, so it's by Mariachi Entertainment System, and what it is it's music from the Zelda games played by a mariachi band. And it's fantastic. It's so good. I couldn't recommend it more. So video game and then movie soundtrack?
Movie soundtrack.
Fuck. I'm so awful with movie soundtracks. But I don't know this for a fact because I haven't actually listened to this soundtrack, but I recently learned a lot of cool things about it, so I'm going to say it, and that is the Cars soundtrack. Because
Hell yeah.
I recently
that's the right
learned
answer.
that John Mayer has a song on there, Sheryl Crow has a song on there, and I don't know how it could get any, like, I assume Rascal Flatts is on there. Rascal Flatts, that dude's
Yep.
got a great voice. Like, I'm not a big that kind of country guy, but that dude sounds fantastic. So I'm gonna go with the Cars soundtrack just off the top of my head.
That's a fantastic answer. I have probably never heard a better answer.
Hell yeah! Shout out to John Mayer and Sheryl Crow for making that awesome answer come to be.
Well, man, that's all the questions I got written down for
Yeah.
you, Chris.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're sitting at about an hour and a half, so that's good. That's Gucci, baby.
That sounds solid, man.
Yeah, that sounds like a solid introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen and germs and losers and whatever else you call yourselves, junkies, all encapsulating junkies. I appreciate you coming to the revival? The revival? Is that
I think it's the revival, bro.
I want I wanted to say resurrection, but that sounds too much like insurrection, and we don't associate with January
Whoa.
6th. No way. Even though it is cool that you tried to fight the government. Like, I can't knock you for that. That's pretty cool. But nah, for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons, you guys. There's better ways to go about it. But am I a little jealous you guys broke into a government building? A little bit. Yeah. That's a big flex. I'll be honest with you. As a petty criminal, bro, your resume's more impressive than mine, okay? So in that regard, pretty cool, but your reasoning behind, not so much. Can't get behind that. But yeah, the revival, the resurrection, the second coming of Toon Junkies. See, remember at the top of the show when I talked about white shenanigans? It's this right here. This is exactly what you're going to get. It's me saying fucking dumb shit. So,
the second coming.
The
of
second
Toon
coming.
Junkies podcast. Amen.
Yeah, we have risen. But yeah, thanks for enjoying the show. I hope you'll stay tuned. As this perfect John Mayer shirt says, stay tuned for more shenanigans. We've got all kinds of great band interviews coming your way. This is like this endeavor is the first time Toon Junkies has ever been overseas. That's right. We've got I know for a fact right now, France, the UK, and I've got a Germany coming up. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I should I bring up the fact I'm 11% Ashkenazi Jew? Do you think that'll go over well?
You know, might as well just slip it in there while you're talking to him. That doesn't hurt.
Hey, you're German. I've got a little bit of Jewishness. There's not going to be like you're not a big fan of Kanye, are you? How into Kanye are you? Like all the way, or are you like a few albums? Like I love 808s and Heartbreak, but like, you know, whatever. He did do that great collab song. What was it? Forever with Drake and Wayne and Eminem. Fantastic song. Fantastic song. But yeah. Thanks for coming, you know. I can't wait for you to enjoy all of the shenanigans that goes on in the future episodes, how I embarrass myself, how I can just I feel like I'm really selling the silly part, but you know, in all honesty, I feel like I do have some insightful questions that I ask. I'm a curious person at heart. Like I do want to know what makes these people tick, and I do have questions that aren't just silly, okay? As much as I love to have fun, I do also like to get philosophical, and there's an episode that I think you're working on right now that I told you like 90% of that is us just talking like philosophy and ideology for the entire time. It was very I don't want to say Joe Rogan because that makes it sound like conspiracy, but it got kind of like in a heady conversation that, that Joe Rogan often gets in with his very distinguished and many guests with many accolades, right? So it varies, Sometimes you'll get all silliness, and sometimes you'll get somebody who's, who has very, I better be careful how I say this, but whose initial responses are more like heady and ideological, in that way. And I mirror a lot. So whatever energy you give me, I'm going to give it back. If you're going to be heady and like talk real nitty gritty stuff, I'm there. But if you want to make like a little joke and I see that you're like, oh, like you're down to make jokes, bro, game on. Okay, now we're going to be silly and we're going to like have a good time. So not that they're not all good times, but you know what I mean. So yeah. With that, I think I'm gonna wrap up the show. If you would like to follow the Toon Junkies podcast, you can find us everywhere. We're like the only ones. You Google us, it's just me. So Facebook, whatever. That's where we started. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok will be coming. If you would like to reach out to the show, maybe you're in a band, maybe your friend has a band and they don't listen to the show, send me their stuff. Send me a link to their stuff. toonjunkiespodcast@gmail.com. You can even, link it through an Instagram DM, whatever. Let me know. I'm reachable. If you would like to reach me, however, if you'd like to be involved with my life, you can leave me alone. But if you must be involved with my life, you can follow me on Instagram at Chris N Kitty. That's Chris N, letter N, Kitty. Or on TikTok at DatBoyPit6. I mean, I'm pretty open here, so you can get a lot of my information here. But if you want to be involved and see the things I get up to in my personal life, feel free to follow me there. I think that's it. I haven't done the outro thing in a while. Listen to tags and plugs and all that stuff. Oh,
that's crazy.
I think by the time this comes out, there may be a Patreon set up. I have it like ready to go. I just need to like connect some dots, do all that stuff. But there should be some merch. I've got a box of shirts right here that look like, not that. I don't have I mean, I could pull one out, but you'll just have to wait. You'll have to wait. It's the skull logo. You can figure it out. But yeah, there'll be merch later on, if you feel so inclined to give me some of your hard-earned money to represent a show that you hopefully enjoy listening to, feel free to do that. And the Patreon will hopefully be set up, eventually. Feel free to give whatever you like. We've got different tiers. I named them all very silly things. Like the lowest tier is the straight edge junkie, where you don't really want to be involved with the show, but you like the idea, and so you just want to like donate $1 or $2. And then like as they get higher and higher, you just get more and more junky. So it's like straight edge, and then it's only on the weekends, and then it's like needs rehab. And then there's one tier that I made just for shits and giggles, because I know a lot. I've heard of a lot of other podcasts doing it, where for $666, I will let you co-host the show with me for one episode. If you want to give up that much money, I'll let you fucking be on this show with me, and we'll talk to whoever you fucking want. It's got to be an artist, though. It's not. Don't fucking bring your friend on, But we'll actually, you know what? Should they? I feel like they should be able to pick the band for that much money.
I think they can do whatever they want for $666.
That's what I'm saying.
You might as well give them a reach around too. Shit.
Yeah. Hey, if you for $666, you can pick the band to be interviewed, and you can co-host the show with me. That's the thing. That one was. That tier was called "We Should Call Somebody Junkie." Like, there's no reason you should be giving me this money, but if you feel so inclined, I will fucking host the show with me. I don't care. But yeah, there's And each tier will have different things, like there'll be ad-free content. I don't really know how I'm gonna. I want to create like a little Tune Junkie community, whether it be like a Discord or like a private like Facebook group. I don't know yet. I haven't really gotten there, but when the time comes, I would like there to be a community, and that way it might be easier for us all to share, up and coming bands. Hey, my friends just started this band. They put out this new song. Check them out, That's the kind of news I want. I want to know about these new bands. I want to know about these DIY artists that are traveling around trying to make a name for themselves. Those are the people I want to talk to, right? And I feel like as great a job as I've catered my social media algorithms to just show me like bands, it's also nice to get like recommendations, like people to vouch. Hey, I just saw this band open up for, I almost said Dance Gavin Dance, but whatever, it doesn't matter who they open for. But like, hey, I just saw them. They're really great. They're just kind of making a name for them. Like, that's what I want, So we'll figure things out. There'll be extra content, bonus content. I'd really like to, there's a lot of things I'll implement. But, as the show grows, so will all the perks and all that fun stuff. So stay tuned, stick around. We're going to be here for a while, okay? So with that, I kind of already told you what I was listening to. Normally I end the episode with what have you been listening to lately, but I kind of did that in one of Gennaro's questions. So from there, I think this is the end. I think this is where we part ways. And I know it's sad. I've got this real Midwestern curse where it's like difficult for me to say goodbye, even though I kind of prefer to be by myself most of the time. I'm kind of a recluse. The quarantine fucked me up big time. But it's like a real Midwestern thing. I have a difficult time saying goodbye, right? It's like, how do I end this? I just want to keep talking. But this is how we're going to do it. Listener, viewer, it's been fun. And Gennaro, thank you so much for partaking in this. I have a feeling that this may be like a... I don't want to say a common theme because I don't want to suggest that I'm going to have a lot of non-band episodes. But if you go back and listen to past episodes, you'll realize that scheduling bands is often quite hectic. And sometimes last-minute things happen, and you just got to call an audible. So if that were the case, you'll probably be hearing from Gennaro. Gennaro's been on the show a bunch of times. He knows how it goes. We converse really well. And I also think we get like... Even though we have similar mindsets, the duality or dichotomy, I don't know what word I want to use, but one of those, the difference in the age gap, there's like 10 years in between us. Exactly 10, I think. So
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a decade in between us. So it's cool to be like millennial and Gen Z, and you can shit on Creed or the bands that I loved growing up, and then I can tell you that fucking Kid Leroy's not that good, and he's just I don't know. I don't know anything about Kid Leroy other than that one song that was big.
He had a Fortnite map that I was on one time.
How would I have known that?
I don't know. Maybe you play Fortnite.
I've played Fortnite a couple times, but FPS is not my... Well, I shouldn't say that. Online games are not my go-to because I'm not good at online games. Everyone's always better than me, so I prefer to do the solo story mission games like oh my goodness, Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima. I love those kinds of games where the deeper the story and it's all by myself. Love it. So yeah, you'll probably be hearing from Gennaro. I feel like the non-band episodes will vary. I feel like I'll probably be doing some album reviews, just music that I really like and want to talk about. I even thought about reaching out to some of the venue owners around here. It was an idea I had many years ago, but I just couldn't get it to work. But I think I'd really love, now that, fingers crossed, this video platform reaches a wider audience, that I would really love to show some love to the all-age venues that we have. And I'd really like to want to drive home the fact that all-age venues are more important than 21-plus venues. Because when is music the most pivotal to a human? Most of the time, it's when you're in high school or middle school, right? When there's somebody that you're listening to actually, you feel that you're that understands what you're going through. Music is very pivotal in that time frame, and all age venues are very important. So I'd love to do something like that. Who knows? I'm sure it'll vary. So just stick with us. It's going to be a fun ride. I can almost guarantee it. If any, yeah. So with that, my name is Chris, and this has been a Toon Junkies podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. Do you know of a band that deserves more recognition? Maybe you think they'd enjoy being on the show. Maybe you make music and you'd like to be on the show. In any case, send your band's music over to toonjunkiespodcast@gmail.com. We're always looking for new artists to interview, any genre, any location. We look forward to checking out your music. And remember, keep it Pit 6.